Hello, and welcome to the Earthly Roots podcast,
where we chat all things gardening, homesteading, and connecting to nature.
We're your hosts, Diane and Robyn.
The Earthly Roots podcast acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today.
How do we start?
I don't know. Hello.
Hello, we're back.
Good to be back.
Yes.
Yep. We are back recording another episode. It's a brand new year, so brand new episode.
Yeah, and this time the season will last a lot longer because we started the first season in springtime, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
And we went into winter. Wait, does winter come first? Oh, God. Spring and then into summer.
Yeah. Well, we're right in the middle of summer right now when we're filming. Well, we've got one more month of summer?
We're in the midst of it, even though the rain is confusing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely feeling very busy in the garden with everything we're harvesting and growing. So, and I feel like that always happens towards the end of summer. It's just like, there's like a week where it picks up and you're like, okay, I got lots to do. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
I need help. Yeah. Definitely. So before we get into kind of like what we've been up to and what's happening in our gardens and on the homestead at the moment, maybe we should just catch up anyone that's new to the podcast or those that maybe just have missed us for so long they've kind of forgotten what we talk about.
Yeah, we missed you too.
Yes, we did. But we're back. We're back to have lots of conversations, and we're hoping that this year is going to be a year of connection and being able to chat to you guys more and also hear your input.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're really excited to be filming some more episodes. We've got like a little list of topics that we would like to discuss, but we're trying to use Instagram to kind of chat to you all a little bit more to see kind of what topics you would like to have us chat about or any questions that you might have. I know like it's great having a conversation between us, but I also really love to hear feedback from our community and the listeners as well.
I agree. That way it's kind of like our podcast, like all of us together, audience and us, not just two girls chatting together. So it's going to be great. For those that don't know though, I'm Diane.
Yes, and I'm Robyn.
Yes, which I think our intro does say, but
yes,
I mean we don't have faces on our intro, so unless you really listen to the voices, you wouldn't know.
Exactly. You'll definitely get to know us and a little bit of what we do, but we both have YouTube channels, which is kind of how we connected. And we both love gardening and homesteading, and we're both a little bit different in terms of like our interests and things like that and background.
So share what are you passionate in doing on your property and on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I'm really passionate about growing a lot of food is something that I really enjoy. I really love to connect to nature, and that's what I try and include on a lot of my videos on how you can connect to nature as well as bringing nature into the garden. And I also grow a lot of flowers. So started the flower farm last year and just recently started selling the flowers. So yeah, we're very busy.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely going to have to talk to you more about that and how it's gone.
Yeah, that'll be great. What about you?
And just to mention, chemical-free, pesticide-free where you can, like, as natural as you can make it.
Yeah, I try and use organic principles and methods in the garden. It's super hard to get certified organic. There's a long process and a lot of money that goes into that. But, yeah, we're pretty much organic.
Yeah, amazing. And I think that's something that both you and I are super passionate about. And
Definitely.
We've been able to connect over.
Yeah.
While here on my end of the patch is we're mostly a homesteading channel, and so you might find more chickens and animals roaming around here than beautiful made up gardens and flowers. But I do try to grow a lot of our own food and just trying to improve my systems and learn and grow and be able to produce more and more nutritious food for myself and Sam. every month, every year, every season.
Exactly. Yeah. And we both don't have a farming background as well.
No.
I have a background in environmental science and research. But I've never done farming properly before or grown food on a large scale.
Yeah, and I grew up in Israel and then in Melbourne, so I've been in cities my whole life. And the idea of even having to get your hands into the dirt was never something that crossed my mind growing up. So yeah, it's been a huge learning curve, but I think a really great one.
Yeah, and I think that's where YouTube's been really great to meet this awesome community and then meet people in person as well to learn all of this.
Yeah,
So,
and connect and know that we're all humans and we all make mistakes and that's okay. We're all on this journey in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we thought we would kind of chat about just where we've been for the last few months. I know, we've both gone overseas, so there's been a lot of things happening that we haven't really, shared every single day. We both did Vlogmas as well, which I think that definitely tired me out.
I don't think I'll be doing it this year.
No.
I'll probably change my mind later on, but for right now, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't watch YouTube, Vlogmas is pretty much doing a daily video all throughout December up until Christmas. So it was a lot of work, it being also the really busy time of the year. But it was really fun. Like I enjoyed getting creative.
And I think what I love about Vlogmas is that because you're showing up every single day, you're getting to talk with your most loyal subscribers every single day. And they're the people that really like cheer you on and like hype you up and give you tips and advice. And I think that's what I really love about it all and what keeps me going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely exhausting.
Yeah.
Especially because you're making videos that are at least 8 minutes long. And to get an 8-minute long video that is of a good quality, you're recording an hour and a half worth of footage that then you're having to like edit together and that's just like the basic of it.
Yeah, and doing that every day is really difficult.
It is, and staying on top of it. I found the editing part the hardest.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Like, filming was easy. I could just take my camera out, do what I was doing anyways, and the vlogs were actually the easiest ones to record in that way. But then as soon as I had to, once I had like a backlog of videos to edit, sitting down and actually getting that done during the end of the school year as well, and with holidays and seeing family, it was hectic.
It was, yeah. So we had a bit of a slower start to January, which was definitely needed.
Still recovering.
Yeah, exactly. But what did you do over Christmas? Because I know you stayed here and did some really cool projects on the homestead for Christmas Day, was it? Or
yeah, so we actually ended up spending Christmas Day here on the homestead. And that's because we went and saw our family earlier in the month. So we ended up doing Christmas with the family like the first or the second week of December. And then we were like, we're not going anywhere for Christmas. Like, we're not dealing with the traffic and the people and the hustle and bustle. Like, we'll just stick here. And we ended up smoking our own ham, which we grew the year before. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was amazing. And it was so much fun. So we just had a fire and some drinks. Sam brother was staying with us at the time as well. And it was just... It felt really wholesome. It felt like all the work we had put in the last 2 years, we really got to sit and enjoy it in a time that really mattered.
Yeah. It looked super calm and peaceful.
And it was
really nice.
Just surrounded by chickens and dogs.
Yeah, perfect. It's a perfect Christmas.
Yeah, completely opposite from your Christmas though.
Yeah, it was very different. We were over in the UK, so we did it's about 3-week trip over to the UK, just me and Scott, my partner, and we visited his sister in London, stayed there for a little bit, and then traveled around the UK, got very sick.
Yeah.
Got that virus that everyone was talking about.
Yeah, the one that you want to avoid, and
exactly.
it finally caught up.
It did, but that's okay. We're still definitely recovering from it, which is really not fantastic, but it was an amazing trip nonetheless. Like it was so great to have a cold Christmas because I'd never had experienced one before.
Yeah. Did it snow while you were up there? I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, it didn't snow on Christmas, but we went up to Scotland and it was snowing, and oh my God, it was just so peaceful and so beautiful. Yeah, we were like just walking in the snow with our hands out being like, what is this stuff? It's amazing. But we were very giddy about the snow. It was quite funny.
Did it meet your expectation? Do you feel like your expectations were really high, really low. Where were they, and how did it compare?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did meet my expectations for winter. I didn't think it was going to be as cozy. Like, I don't know. It's so, the culture over there is just very different to Australia, I think, because it is so cold and dark there.
Yeah.
A lot of the pubs, like we ate in so many different pubs. It was amazing. They just feel so
Pubs
cozy.
around every corner.
Yeah, with like the fire on and fairy lights and beautiful Christmas trees everywhere.
Yeah.
It was absolutely beautiful. So I would
No
definitely recommend
expectations
if you've
and
never
beyond.
been there in winter. Yeah, it was so beautiful, but it was interesting driving on ice for the first time and like walking on
Scary?
the ice. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
But
Did you fall?
no, I didn't. I'm such a baby. Like, I'm so cautious with that stuff. I was just walking like super slow, holding on to Scott. So yeah, I didn't fall, but it was great we went to like some sacred sites over there, up in Scotland, and it was
I
just
saw you went
so
to
beautiful.
Bath as well
Yep.
in the UK.
Yeah, we went to Bath and saw all the Roman artifacts and the Roman baths and everything.
Beautiful.
And yeah, it was just amazing to see that, the history of, that a lot of us are so used to hearing about, and just all of like the pagan sites and things like that were just so interesting. And the forests, it was so beautiful. Yeah.
Sounds so beautiful. You just make me want to travel.
Oh. Well, yeah, we had been saving up for that trip for so long, so it was really nice to be able to go on a holiday. But I definitely did miss home, and was really happy to come back to my garden, and all the plants had grown so much.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that we went away on a trip as well. And when we got back from our trip, even though we went for a week, we didn't go for a whole month like you did. But the difference that it made to the garden, especially during like that peak summer, January season, everything just flourished. We had zucchini plants and cucumber plants that produced so much. I'm surprised that they didn't go to seed.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was pretty much the same with me. Although we did have my parents, thankfully, were staying to take care of the garden, or else I don't know what the zucchini plants would have looked like.
Yeah.
Like even leaving them like a few days, some have gone just, I don't know, they just go really like rock hard that you can't. We've just got to make like zucchini bread out of them or something like that,
or like fritters or something, and enhance the flavor with other things. So we tried to do a lot before we left, which is something we're going to touch on today, is also like how to leave the home and the garden, and some things that you can maybe prepare for or prioritize in terms of how to just maximize your garden when you're not there. Or ensure that everything doesn't die by the time you come back. And I think a lot of people have this misconception in their mind that when you have a homestead or a garden, you're fully committed to it, you can't go anywhere, and you can't go on a holiday, or you can't go away for the weekend, because if you do so, everything will die and then that's it. So like you went away for a month and you had a person look after the house. You had your mum, and we went away for a week or two here and there, and we also had a house sitter during that time. But we also did things beforehand that made sure that things could survive if they were neglected.
Yeah, I think it's important, if you're ever having someone look after the house, unless they are really into gardening and your property, even though it's still not their property, so they're not going to feel the exact same. I think it's still important to not expect them to do everything. Like, you can leave them lists and, feeding the animals and things like that, of course. But the, sowing seeds and preparing for the seasons and that kind of thing, there are a few things which you really do have to just be okay with not doing. But there are things that you can do to make the work less when you do come back, if that makes sense.
So as far as our garden goes, I know I did a really huge watering the week before, and I also knew that there was rain coming in the week that we were away, so I knew I didn't have to ask my house sitter to go and water the garden. But in the past, if it's been a really hot, dry week, I would just let her know, like, on a Wednesday, if you just put the sprinklers on and create those sprinkler systems that are really easy for someone to just turn on and off, and that's all they need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, one of the main problems that I had sown a lot of seeds, and I was really happy when I was sowing all these
You're
seeds
excited.
in December. I was like, yep, it's time to do all this. I'm not going to be here, but I'm still going to do it anyway. So I had lots of seeds that I had sown, and the seedlings were popping up. So that was one of the big things that I was worried about, was all of them dying. So one of the things that I was also doing, which was watering as well, was making sure that I had trays under all of my seedlings. So you can get them just from like the op shops, just old plastic trays or even baking trays. You can pick them up anywhere really. And just having the seed punnets or the seedling trays on them so that there could just be a bit of shallow water.
With water at the bottom.
Yeah. So that's definitely something that was like my main priority, was keeping them alive. There was a lot of things in the garden. I was just like, it's fine. If it survives, it survives. But yeah, it was fine that a lot of things didn't do too well, but Mum did a really good job at the garden.
And I don't doubt her at all. Another thing that we did as well is we did a huge weeding. So pull out every single weed we can, cover everything with mulch so that all the soil is covered wherever we could. And because the thing with weeds in summer is every week you're just going to get more and more and more, and it gets harder and harder to stay on top of. So doing that was like almost essential for us, especially in our gardens that do tend to get a bit wild with the weeds.
Yeah. So it seems, we also did that, but I was going to ask before, and then my train of thought went off. With the watering, did you also mulch the gardens as well, or
with the like before or after? Do you mean?
Yeah, or did you have mulch on your gardens?
So we always have mulch, but over time it breaks down and turns back into soil.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of just a practice to water the gardens really well. Add the mulch on top if we need to, get all those weeds out. So it's kind of like we do it all together.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so we did a really big like garden day where we added lots of new compost, we got all the weeds out, deep water, and then mulch on top.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's definitely something that is a great thing to do, particularly in summer, is to definitely make sure you're mulching if you are worried about your plants drying out. Yeah,
definitely. Another thing we did have to do before we went away was harvest things. So a lot of our zucchini plants, cucumber plants, some of our tomatoes, not many though, started to produce. And I knew that by getting onto those nice and early, it would mean that the next lot could start to ripen for when we came back. And I mean, we had that flexibility because we were only gone for a week or so. I can imagine that for you, like, how did you feel about having flowers that were going to mature while you were away? How did you kind of prepare your mind for that, or prepare your garden for it?
Yeah. Well, I knew a lot of them were going to be ready, and that I would have missed some of them.
And that's just part of it. You were organised. I mean, it's all practice.
Yeah, so I was a little sad because I got to miss out on them, and I was trying to get Mum to take photos and update me, but she is just notoriously bad at taking photos. Sorry, Mum, but you are. So, she took a few, but I got to enjoy them over that online. But yeah, it's tricky with flowers because a lot of them will all, like with some of the plants, they'll all happen at once. Like with the feverfew, you saw how much feverfew you have outside.
They're the white ones with the yellow in the center.
Yeah.
I always call them something different. Like to me, they look like daisies. So if you didn't tell me the name of them,
they look very similar to chamomile as well, but they're definitely a bit different. So
sorry.
No, that's okay.
We tend to go on tangents here.
So with flowers, a lot of them will open and bloom at one time. So you really do have to do a quick harvest, particularly for ones where you want multiple flowers off the one plant. So for one, zinnias is a big one. I know a lot of the zinnias started flowering, and thankfully it wasn't too bad. I had timed it okay, but some of them were flowering, and zinnias really do need to be deadheaded, which basically just means that you are trimming off the old spent flowers so that new flowers can come out and bloom.
And is that something that you clued your mum into? Is that something that she may have had experience in? Or is that something that you kind of knew would not be done and that's okay?
I don't think I told her about it. It's one of the things that I didn't want her to do too much. Yeah. But it is something, if you're a flower farmer and you're dependent on that crop there and then. I had started a bit later, so it didn't really matter for me. But deadheading is super important for flower farming, just because you really do want to make sure that you're getting those first few flowers and trimming them back so that the plant can grow in the way that you want it to grow, so it has more flowers. And that's just an economic thing. You're paying for the seeds, so you want as many flowers as you can.
Yeah, and you're also looking at the stem size as well. Like you want the flowers to sit in the vase the way you want them to, or in the bouquet.
Yeah, so you want really long stems, or the longer the better. So definitely making sure that you're pinching zinnias, and this also goes for cosmos and a lot of other flowers as well, so that you just get more growth. And that's what I've been doing now, and just keeping on top of it. And we're getting lots of nice flowers now, which is good. Yeah.
And so earlier you mentioned that you officially sold your flowers at the market.
We did.
So tell us about that experience in the lead up, coming back from your holiday, getting the flower farm back on track in the way that you wanted it to, and then being ready to go to market. How was that whole little period of time for you?
It happened very quickly. It was, again, kind of hard because we came back and we were still not really well. So I had all this like mental energy of like, I want to get back into the garden, but I just physically couldn't. So it was slow getting back into it. But I think I'm a perfectionist in most things that I do. And I also still do have this just really horrible imposter syndrome that I'm trying to just get rid of.
It's hard.
I don't have it a lot now that I've started, but it was really difficult just to actually start and do it. But I think the way I got straight back into it, one of the people that I work with, Lauren, whose stall that we also sell the flowers with, alongside Jeff at Whitburn Environmental, Lauren basically just asked, hey, I'm starting markets. Do you want to do flowers? Yes or no? You can just bring them. And I was like, yes, I'm going to bring them. I'm just going to do it. And then I had locked myself in my mind, which was just that overcoming that barrier, or else I was just going to sit with the flowers at home. Like I had to do something with them. It was just that next step. And
was it sooner than you thought it would be?
It was around the time when I should have been doing it.
Yeah.
It was just me. I was still
fighting your own battle.
not thinking it was going to work out or anything like that. And I'm still like learning how to do everything, but just getting thrown into the deep end is just the best way to learn. I think. Yeah.
And you had such a successful first time as well, and just that whole learning experience of jumping in and just seeing what's going to happen, and now being able to adjust your systems or your thoughts or processes based on that is, I think, incredible.
It's definitely, thank you. Thank you. No, it's been really, really fun. Like I am honestly just so happy doing it. This time now compared to last year, like I'm completely different, and definitely excited to grow it and grow more flowers. And even just like the moment I started picking the flowers and harvesting them, something changed in my mind, and I was like, oh, okay, I got to sow more seeds. I got to do this. And so it was just, really completely kind of changed my mentality around it, actually just starting it to be a bit more enthusiastic about it.
Great. Well, I mean, it had been like a month or so since you got to be completely immersed in your flowers and your business, so I can understand that mindset of just like slowly easing back into it. And so it's almost a great thing that Lauren had this opportunity for you, and you right back into
definitely
it.
It's really fun.
That's great. On our end, it's been, we've still been adjusting back into things. We've had little projects here and there. This year, we're kind of taking more of a focus on our geese, and also trying to create a system with the gardens that can then be transported on our bus, which that's something that I know it is so great. But going from like this huge garden on I don't even know how big my garden is, but it's large.
Yeah. Well, how many hectares or acres is this property?
The property is 25 acres. But I feel like as far as pasture goes, we maybe have 3 acres that are cleared, and so we're growing on maybe an acre, maybe even less. I don't think that's an acre. I think that's like, I don't know. I'll measure it one day and I'll let you know. But trying to take that system and putting it on a bus, at first I was like, okay, I'm going to have a garden all at the top of the bus, and I'll just have kind of like windows closing it like a little greenhouse. And then when I started researching like transporting soil and plants across state borders,
true. That would be a problem.
Isn't a thing you can do. Even house plants become a problem.
Yeah.
So then I started thinking, like, what's an alternative? Maybe I'll have gardens per state. Like, this is my Victoria garden. This is my New South Wales garden, which sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I think realistically, as far as time constraints and, you know, like, we'll be busy doing so much else and exploring and getting to know people on the journey, that I want my garden to be self-sufficient. So we've been starting to explore like aquaponics and using our geese, which we can at the moment, but in future using fish in the system. And just trying to grow plants in a completely different way than I ever have before. So that's something we started like working towards.
Yeah. So those of you who don't know, you're building your own tiny home basically to go around Australia. You said you were going through multiple states. Is the plan to just like keep traveling every week or so, or do you want to kind of, you know, set roots down in a state for like a few weeks or months? And are you doing this soon? Like, are you doing it within the year, or what's the plan?
So we've set ourselves a time constraint. We're getting married next year in literally like 13 months. It's coming around so fast now. At first I was planning too early and now that it's like 13 months, I'm like, oh my God, stress. There's so much to do, even though it's all planned.
And you're getting married overseas, right?
Yes, in Thailand. So we're hoping to get our bus finished in the next 6 months if we can, but we have about a year to do it if we need to. So we want the bus done before our wedding so that we can go do our wedding, do some traveling, come back, get on the bus and go. And then the plan from there is still up in the air. We're hoping to get in contact with lots of homesteaders and farms and permaculturists and just anyone doing things similar to us, like those in our community, those that hopefully we're yet to meet, and just see what other people are doing, see the different climates, the innovation, the ideas. And whether we spend a week in one place or more really depends on what we want to see and do while we're there. But I can kind of see us traveling on the bus for a year. It could go longer, it could go shorter, depends how we fall in love with it.
Oh, it's going to be so awesome. I feel like you're just going to just like be a sponge for information the whole year, and it'll be great to follow it along on YouTube as well,
which we plan to. We're really planning to, because YouTube will form the only income that we get while we're on the bus, whether we play shows, like if Sam plays a show with his music, or I do casual teaching, that'll help out as well. But it really, we will be creating so much more content on our YouTube channel. It'll form most of what we do in that year. So it's going to be great. It's scary though, like the idea of just having to pack up this whole house.
I know.
That's another thing I've been doing, just slowly like bringing our things
Downsizing.
down, starting to throw things away. I'm even talking to Sam about reducing our plates and our cups and our forks and knives to only 2 of each, just so that we can feel that pinch. And there's we don't have a lot in our house, but still having to minimize to a bus size is a lot.
So in terms of growing food on the bus, like is there anything that you could like really focus on, because I suppose like things like microgreens you could definitely do and be self-sufficient in greens and get that nutrients from that.
Definitely like lettuce, spinach, herbs. I think those are going to be the main things that I grow. I really want to grow potatoes, but realistically it's going to take the space for too long.
Yeah.
While those perennials or really quick annuals, like even radishes, will just be a quick turnaround so that we can sustain our food somehow, and then a lot of it will be just sourced from local farmers markets, or if we don't make it to the farmers markets, then we'll try find like a bulk whole food place. And
awesome.
It's going to be a journey, because I mean those things aren't available everywhere, and
true.
I think we'll be discovering that pretty soon. But a year, oh my gosh,
that's so exciting.
Life's going to change. Which I feel like would have felt like that for you with the flower farm.
Well, we're definitely not going to be traveling around a lot. I'm just focusing on just enjoying the moment with the flowers, and just growing as many as I can in the space, but just learning, like using this year to just learn what I like to grow, what I can grow. There's so many different flowers out there and styles of floristry that people like to do.
I honestly can't believe the amount of variety, like even just from the petal size to the petal direct, like what is it you always say, it's something that you point out, something holly.
Sea holly?
Yeah, the sea holly is just so unusual as a flower, but it's so stunning.
Yeah, there's so many different types and so many different like components of an arrangement that people need, like the filler flowers, focal flowers, just bulk flowers to bulk it up, or colours. And it's been really interesting to learn what people like in terms of colours with flowers. I was saying before, like red has been a really popular flower, and I don't really grow red flowers because I don't personally really like them. But now I'm changing my mind.
Red flowers?
I mean, I don't not like them, but I like other flower colours better.
Which colours do you like?
I love anything like burgundy or rose, like pinks and pastel colours, purples.
Like blush.
Yeah, that kind of soft colours. But then the bright, striking ones are doing really well. So I need to change that up, and hopefully just next year expand and grow some more dahlias, or dahlias, however you want to say it. They're really popular. They're just, I'm very new to growing them in this climate as well, and they're definitely an investment. Like tubers they're usually around $15 for one tuber, which is a lot of money if you're buying like 20 that you kind of need if you need to rely on them for a flower farm.
Very cool flower. They're ones that multiply though, aren't they? So you'll buy one tuber and it'll cost $15, but the next year it might grow two or more flowers.
So the way I justified it was it's an investment. It's fine. It's totally fine. But you've just got to make sure that you can either dig them up and store them, or trust that they're not going to rot away in the ground. So we'll see. I might dig some up and just leave some and see how they go.
What colours do you have of your...
I have one red one, which everyone loved, and burgundy. I can't remember all of the names, and like a light pink one.
Gorgeous.
So that kind of colour palette. I only have 5 actually. But room to expand.
5 will turn into 25 next year, right? That's how it multiplies that quick.
True.
So it really does sound like you are improving a lot of the systems on your flower farm, and like you've got some big goals ahead of you.
Well, I do. We both do. But so I suppose this year we're focusing on the flowers and growing the business. So the start of this year, a lot of it was taken up with starting the business, like, registering it, doing all the things that you need to do that we've kind of touched on one podcast. But I'm looking to do a website and get that up and running. I've started it all, but I have no background in this. And this is what I'm learning with small business and owning one, is just you need to like know just a bit of everything, which is fun.
And that's the same with YouTube though. Exactly. Like you need to be the editor, you need to be the director, you need to be the talent, you need to be all the things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's been a big learning curve, just learning all of that, and ordering products for bath salts that I'm going to be releasing. So that there'll be botanical bath salts with
Beautiful.
flowers from the garden and
So
scents.
drying the flowers for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of them I'm trying to dry myself, but I don't have enough to make that up yet, but slowly getting there, because I personally really like a relaxing bath. So I wanted to do something that I really enjoy so that I can also use the products.
Yep.
And just really kind of focus on things that make me happy and relaxed, and really just use this year as a non-research year, because I've done that for so long, and it really did wreck my mental health for quite a bit. So focusing more on things that make me calm and relaxed, which starting a business sometimes might not be that, but I don't want to let it control my life and get super stressed, because I know what that's done to my health, and would like to kind of turn that around a little bit and focus not so much on producing so many videos for YouTube, but really just documenting what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And just kind of being a little bit more intuitive with what people might want to see on YouTube, because it's a lot of work.
Of course.
YouTube,
I can only imagine. But also all the work that you're putting into the actual flower farm and the products you're making too.
Yeah, which I'd like to focus a lot more on.
Yes.
Still definitely going to be doing the videos, but just taking a little bit more of a step back from that and focusing on more things like Patreon and things like that, which, by the way, we both do have Patreons.
Yes, we
If
do.
you would like to see a little bit more behind the scenes of what we both do, extra content. But I think I'm just really craving that community.
Yeah.
And the connection with other people. So going to the markets is one thing that really is,
I was just about to say that's
really
going
cool.
to be a huge thing as far as
Yeah.
building your community, because
Yeah.
I know personally, going to farmers markets, I love to get to know my farmer or where my products are coming from, and striking up a conversation with people that are making incredible things. So,
Yeah.
It's going to be really wonderful
fun.
for you.
Yeah. What about some of your goals for the year?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, we really are just downsizing our life and starting to kind of pack away this identity that we've built for ourselves, and just minimizing it and bringing it onto a bus and making it more transportable as we find our next spot. But yeah, this next year I really want to be preserving a lot more of my food, and this summer I'm doing a lot of that. So as far as like pickles go, I've got pickles coming out my ears, and I've got zucchini frozen, and I'm really hoping that my summer harvest can, still be used and enjoyed going further into the year. That's going to be really meaningful to me. I think the few things that lasted the longest from last year were, like, other than our meat, of course, which is in the freezer, but were things like our pumpkins, which we still have pumpkin left over, and our beans, our green beans, lasted a really long time frozen. But yeah, just canning up tomatoes and using them in our cooking is going to be great. I also want to actually be working on taking some products that are not as sustainable, like things just covered in plastic, like crackers, milk, dairy products, taking those items, pasta, noodles, and teaching myself to make them in a really high quality way. So, I mean, I can't make milk, but I can purchase... I don't have a cow. But I can purchase...
I make milk someday, but not right now.
Not that kind of milk,
We know
but
what we're talking about.
I can purchase high quality milk and then try to make some of the cheeses that I would want to make, or yogurt, and like little simple things, making crackers from nuts and seeds that I already have. I've been starting to make my own sourdough bread, and so just perfecting that and making it almost like routine to do it every single week, just the same way that you would go to a shop. So yeah, just really taking that next step in self-sufficiency for me is a big thing.
Yeah, I feel like we could do a whole podcast on that, how to just like really manageably move into a more sustainable way of living, which we have chatted on a podcast like that, but I think it's different that we, you know, talk about actual examples of what we're doing, because I know literally every time I come down here, you just inspire me to like cook more of my own food, kind of like bread, and
lovely.
Grow more food. And I think it's probably, I'm gonna pinch that goal as well, and do more of that as well, I think.
And I know you've spoken about wanting to do that more anyways. I mean, us growing our own food and living so in tune with nature goes hand in hand with wanting to preserve that so that it lasts all year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so lots of things that we're working on, and we do have so many plans for the podcast as well. I don't know if I mentioned, but it would be really awesome to do a meetup one day, and just really just kind of talk to you guys a little bit more. So whether that be on Instagram or on our YouTube channel, like don't be shy. We really want to see the comments, and like if you do enjoy the podcast, some feedback, ideas for episodes, because again we love talking to each other about this, but the main goal for this was to provide information and just a place for like-minded people to come and listen to and
inspire one another.
Exactly. Because we get so much inspiration from you guys, and
definitely
Instagram and YouTube.
And I was also saying to Robyn, it'd be really cool to start doing kind of like challenges on our Instagram, because Robyn and I live 3 hours away from each other, maybe even 4. You're more in a subtropical area, while here we're kind of subtropical with like elements of temperate. So the things that we grow and the things that we both personally enjoy doing on our properties is different. And so it'd be cool to kind of share our two lifestyles on our Instagram more and connect with you guys in that way. So any challenges that you have for us, or things that you want to see from our homes, not our homes, but our gardens and our homesteads, let us know, because that would be really cool to share that, even if it's like a quick photo or two here and there of things going on. I think that would be really fun.
Exactly. And also in our community as well, like I haven't chatted to you about it, but it would be really cool to go along to other people's gardens, like permaculture gardens around here, because I know there are quite a few, and just chat to people as well, and whether or not you'd want to see that or get episodes or conversations from other people doing some awesome work in the community.
That would be cool.
I think that would be really fun.
I don't know how I would deal with that. Like, I feel like I'm just adjusting to this.
I know.
But I like it. I want to move to it.
It would be cool. Even if it's like a YouTube video and not quite a sit down like this kind of podcast, because I know this is quite intimidating for some people. Growth. And but there's so many different ideas, and we're really excited and so thankful that you have been listening, because we do see that like the views on the podcast as well. So we don't see that you are directly watching them. We don't see your name, so don't worry about that unless you comment.
Then we know.
But all the lurkers out there, we appreciate you.
Definitely. So make sure, if you are watching the YouTube channel, leave it a like, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts and what is either overwhelming you in your garden or what is exciting you for the year ahead.
Definitely.
And if you want to support us further, we do have a Buy Me a Coffee page, so you can help us to fund all of these lovely teas that we drink.
Exactly. Teas and coffees to keep us going, and all the editing, and that would be much appreciated. And we are going to be doing a lot more behind the scenes content over there, maybe some blooper reels that we can put together, because it's been some funny moments that definitely don't make it onto the podcast.
They don't even make the cut. But so thank you so much for listening in today on the first episode back. Yay. It's only going to get better this year as we nut out all of the little problems and things, and just really looking forward to some great conversations again.
Definitely.
I've missed this.
It's been really cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you /
or listening.
We will hear from you / see you next time. Bye.